Hello, everyone. It's Trey coming at you with some Trey talking. It's Wednesday. Time for another Laugh and Learn lunch with who? With me, Trey Urban, internationally known medicine woman, CEO and founder of Return to Self. I help women heal the womb so that they can finally have confidence and clarity to self actualize the life of their dreams. I am fired up to be here with you today. I had a guest, Cedric, and you know what? Honestly, you guys, I don't know what happened. He emailed yesterday that he got the link, and I don't know. So you can't just stop things stop because they shift and change, because you have to be consistent. And I'm so excited to get this topic started. So today, I am going to be talking about shifting and changing, being able to be flexible. Because when you want to move into flow, if you want your life to be smooth, gentle, comfortable, and harmonious, well, it's going to take some shifting and moving, some unlearning, some unprogramming of a history of information that has been embedded. Some of us, you guys, believe it or not, I believe that we received generations of our ancestors' mental body, their emotional body, not just the physical body. We didn't just get the pretty looks and the nails and the fingers and the synchronicities and the little traits, right, from our parents. Oh, honey, we got a lot more than that. We got what they were most focused on at the time. So what if your parents were focused on not getting pregnant? Just saying. What if their focus was on earning a living, making more money, getting educated, right? It could be any of these things that these people experienced, right? So who knows? And then depending on your lifeline, depending on your nationality, you already came with some trauma. A lot of us, if you're Native American, I'm 51% Native American. Whose generational people had people stolen, taken, right? African Americans, Asians. I don't know. A lot of people don't realize Asians were being kidnapped before African Americans and brought over here enslaved to help build like railroad lines and all these different things. History is an amazing thing when you really study, the parts that they're not telling you, right? So you have to be your own discerningness around that. That's a whole nother subject. So don't get me off track, because you know who gets a little distracted and goes off into left field. Okay, so you guys, life will always be shifting and changing. How many of you guys are praying for a job, praying for, or visualizing or creating, right? Asking for a better house, a better car, a family, the love of your life, something, right? I believe every single one of us, no matter how dormant or active, is still wanting and desiring something, right? Even the low vibrating people, they want their TV, right? They want the fast food. They want the couch potato life. They want to hurry and get home so they could go back to bed, right? It's still a desire. We all are hoping for things. Some of you know, some of you don't know. I am a mother of 3. I have 6 grandkids that I'm aware of. I have 2 great grandchildren. I have learned a lot in my little bit of years talking about changing, shifting, right? We all think parenthood is going to be something. So those of you who have kids, if you haven't, you have your own perception about being a parent, right? And there's a lot of us like single people. I realized when I was married, so many single people would come up to me and be like, "Oh, I would love to have your marriage. Oh, I'd love to. Oh, you guys seem so happy. And oh, I just want to be happy." And you know what I mean? And they had all this illusion, right? Of this thing, but marriage isn't this find this amazing person and you just fall into this bliss. That is not what happens. The reality is it's a lot of compromise. It's a lot of communication, connection. It is a lot. It is a lot. It is adapting to two different ways of being, right? Because my husband did not think anything like I thought or perceived things any way that I perceived them. Forget the fact that we're male and female already, right? And our bodies function two completely different ways. But it's an illusion that we're told because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know until you get in it. So after you become a parent, or even for you, okay, so even if you don't have kids, I just want you to think about your friends or think about people you're close to, your favorite cousin, right? Whatever, brother, sibling, whoever you're really close to, and how you get excited and you guys talk about the future, and you have dreams and you have visions and you have these things, right, that you think about because you just, how can you help it? Most people at some point go, oh, well, I want to build a sandcastle. Well, I don't get, well, what, it starts a conversation of communication, of creativity, about forward thinking, about what you want to do, where you want to go, right? So as we're doing this, we don't know what we don't know. And then when these things hit us and happen to us, a lot of us think that it is because we aren't supposed to keep moving forward. Or, oh, why did this happen to me? Or we get stuck in the mental body's processing of, why did this happen? Why, right? Because that mental body gets all stuck on wanting the answers, because it's doing its three things, you guys. It's trying to teach you, it's trying to protect you, or it's trying to motivate you. That's all its job is. The ego, it's over there. That's only three things: teach, protect, motivate, right? So everything is all doing one of these things based on the information that it's been provided up until this point, right? So if you want new information, or if you're doing your best to get into something new, the new house, the new job, the new relationship, well, guess what? That ego, that mental body is going to steer you wrong all the time. It is, because it doesn't know where you're going. So this is where I love learning how to move into flow, because when you realize that those thoughts are only here to help you get in alignment with what you want, right? Because when things happen, say for instance, you're getting a flat tire and you did not expect this, right? And what did it force you to do? Have to get it fixed, take time out of your day, right? You were not expecting that. You were not anticipating that. But guess what? Cars, it is guaranteed that they will break at some point. Just like relationships, there are no two people that will get along 100% of the time. It is impossible. It's the beauty of our uniqueness. It is impossible. And thankfully, we aren't mind readers and we aren't a lot of these things. I'm super psychic. I am an intuitive and I could read energy like nobody's business, but I can't read your mind. It is up to you to communicate to me what it is you want from me. I could tell you why you're feeling that way. I could tell you some things about you, but we need clarity on self. Self. How do you gain clarity about yourself? Well, first of all, you have to take time to get clarity around yourself. You have to take time to breathe. And when you actually stop and focus on your breath, you can't think about the crazy thoughts. You can't think about, it's impossible. It is physically impossible for you to think about you taking a deep breath and continue to spin out about the kids, or spin out about your job, or spin out about your broken car, or whatever it is, right, that's causing you this distress or disturbance in your existence. Again, it's your ego just trying to motivate you to do something different, teach you a new way because this way isn't working, or protect you from continuing to have the same things happen over and over and over again. Right? Raise your hand, drop it in the chat over and over. How many of you guys know about over and over? Right? Why does this keep happening to me? Why do people keep talking to me this way? Why why? There's a reason why. Because somewhere in your prayers, in your agreement to be on this earth, you said, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to be different. So you will continue to get the same experience in different peoples, in different places, in different ways until you gain the wisdom to either set the boundary, create what you want, remove the blocks, heal the trauma, have the conversations that you've been avoiding. It is something will need to happen if you want whatever to stop. If you want to finally get the great job with the great boss, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to actually go look for it. You're going to have to be ready and willing to give up what you have, because the only way you could get something new is when you're ready to let go of what isn't serving your highest and greatest good. Sometimes it's our thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts are not helping us move forward in a good way. Sometimes our emotional body is going, oh, I'm so filled, I'm so heavy, I'm so confused, I'm so discouraged, I'm so tired of trying over and over and not having things worked out. Who knows about these? I am an empath. I feel things very deeply, far more deeply than people who are not empaths. And that's why people are like, oh, why are you so sensitive? It's because, well, you're welcome. I get to feel your feelings and my feelings. So thank you. Thank you for that. But I became self-aware. I realized how my body works. So in that way, I realized the things that are, okay, so if our life is a river, right, we're that water and we're wanting to go and we're wanting to reach the ocean where we can expand, right, where we can evolve and expand beyond what we're experiencing now, right? Right? We want that new. We want it to feel good and amazing, right? But in the way, there's rocks, there's going to be tree stumps, there's going to be all of these things that are in our way. And so what does water do? Does water sit there and argue with stuff? No, it finds a way to maneuver over, around, or through the situation. And that's our job, to figure out how to maneuver around it, over it, under it, through it, so that we can continue on that smooth path. Sometimes there's going to be white water. Sometimes there's a lot of freaking rocks in the ocean. And let me tell you, it's not fun to hit these things in life, right? So when you become self-aware, then you realize the things that, how we set up our own rocks, how we're dropping our own trees into our own way. You guys, we can make your path an amazing path, because changes are always going to happen. It is unavoidable. Going back to the kids, I've had the kids. And I have had so many things happen that I did not expect. I have had hospital visits. I have had school visits, right? How many of you got called to have to go talk to the principal, talk to teachers, do things that were not a plan? The biggest thing that happened to me that was not part of my plan was getting paralyzed. Oh my gosh, I was paralyzed in a car accident in 2010. I was told I would never walk again without assistance. Yo, that was not in my plan. It was a Friday night. My husband had just picked me up from work, and we were on our way to go and meet my sisters, to go and have happy hour, to have a happy hour buffet, because they don't have this stuff no more. But back then, it was already over 12 years ago. It was in 2010. They had, food buffets with all this yummy food. They've had, in a nightclub, music playing, drinks going. Yes, you get to dance, have food, shake off the week that has just messed you up, right? This is what the amazing thing is. So, bam, unexpected. I'm sitting there at a stoplight, and here I am. We have a big old SUV, and I'm all like this, and I'm all talking to my husband, and I'm all twisted, but I'm seat belted in. Plam! Car smacks into us. My whole body, I could hear it go. Yes, all the way neck, upper back, lower back. Paralyzed from a car accident. Not part of my plan. My plan was to go to happy hour, to go and dance, have fun, shake off the week, let it go. Well, that didn't happen, but it was what saved my life. It was what realigned me into flow. Because you guys, I had been praying for years. Please, God, I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I know I'm not living my purpose. Please, God, please help me. Help me to live my purpose. And I kept praying this and wondered why, I don't know, this magic thing didn't happen, or I didn't get off. I don't even know what I thought would happen. Right? So I didn't pay attention to the subtle whispers, the gentle taps, the gentle realignments. This is what I call the smaller pebbles, right? But I kept taking back ownership. I kept taking back control. I kept not trusting. And then, so what did I get in return? I got crazy. I got crazy people, crazy adventures, crazy things happen to me, more unexpected stuff, because I was unwilling to listen. I was unwilling to pay attention to the signs. I was unwilling to become self-aware with enough clarity and confidence in what I was doing so that I could move forward in a good way, right? Self-care, you guys. I love water. I drink lots of water. This is my cup. If you could tell, it's bigger than my whole face. Because you can't have enough water. Your body's 70% water. There's ups and downs of that. But either way, self-care, be self-aware. Be aware that your body wants things and needs things and is doing its best to align you with things. How many of you guys get those little things like, oh, turn left, call so-and-so, send a text, and then we dismiss it, or we'll like, oh, we'll do it later. You guys, those are your downloads. Those are your text messages. Those are your voice messages from God. That's your spirit. That's the thing. Those are the assignments. We are all here on assignment. That's what I believe. I believe we all said, God, I want to go to earth. Let me have a purpose. Let me do something. So then God sends us down here, and then we navigate the craziness until we get in alignment with our purpose, right? And then we start doing our best to trudge ahead in this new thing, in this new way, which forces you to have new thinking, new patterns, right? You have to be you have to grow, and you have to heal, and you have to let go of the insecurities, because that's like the big tree. The big, what do you call that? The dam that those little beavers, the beaver dam, blocking your whole thing. Self-esteem. That is your emotional body. Because you guys, your emotional body, its purpose is to hold in a chronological order every moment of impact that you've ever had. Anything that has made you feel any kind of way, whether it made you feel good, whether you felt scared, whether you felt excited, whether you felt sad, whether you felt depressed, whether you felt belittled. So then anytime that moment happens, boom, the emotional body says, I'm going to remember what this felt like. It's going to use all the five senses. what I heard at the time, what else I was hearing. So sometimes you might be hearing a tapping, you might be hearing a train whistle, you might be hearing things, right? What you saw. If you saw the trauma, if you saw the roller coaster ride, if you saw the balloons, if you saw the cookie, if you saw the abuse getting ready to happen, logged it, what you were smelling at the time. It's Was there a smell of oil, of ash, of grandma's cookies, of butterscotch, right? It's remembering every single thing from your senses, so that when you experience something similar again, it goes, hey, you've smelt this before, you felt this before, you have heard this before, you've seen this before. And then it starts to send signals to the mental body, which then is doing its best to teach you, protect you, or motivate you to do more of it because it was so fun, protect you from putting yourself in a situation again to receive anything that didn't serve your highest and greatest good, right? That's what's happening. So it's your job to then pay attention to the signs and symbols and then the words. Because whatever that ego is telling you is just the signs and symbols to what it is that you want to create. So do you want to create safety? Do you want to create abundance? What do you want to create? This is your fun. And it's as fun as you want to make it. Because either way, I believe life is like a game. And in order to get to the next level, to get to the next place, get to the next space where that's a better reflection of what you're trying to create or what you're attempting to create, what you're designing, right? It's a better image of that. So in order to get this picture that doesn't look like this picture, how do you think it's going to happen? You got to be ready to move. You got to be ready to change jobs. You got to be ready to have the conversations with the people who aren't supportive, encouraging, trustworthy, of integrity. Add it on, right? You got to be ready to, sometimes you have to pick up the rock and get it out of there. Sometimes you have to get the saw, cut the board so that you can move it out of your path so that you can design the life that you want. This is how you do it, is get self-aware, gain that awareness so that you can make the choices that you want to make. It is so amazing. I am so grateful for this time that we've had, you guys. I love connecting. I am all about healing. I am an intuitive. You guys, if you want to hit me up, if you want me to tell you more about you, about your path moving forward, I see possibilities. I see the possibilities. If you take this turn, then this is what's going to happen. If you take that turn, this is what's going to happen, because it is my passion and it is my purpose to help people self-actualize the life of their dreams. And the only way you could do that is through clarity. Because if you don't know what you want, if you don't know what it looks like, then you can never get it. It cannot come. You can't have something that you don't know what it is. How can you think about it? How is it possible if you can't get clear about the experience that you want to have? I decided that the people I work with, they are excited to work with me. I decided, and I started creating this list, and I started creating what I call life standards, because in my life, the people are trustworthy. The people are of integrity. They're supportive, encouraging. They tell me the truth, even if I don't want to hear it, because I give everyone in my inner circle permission to raise my awareness when I am doing something that doesn't serve the highest and greatest good for myself or others. How many of you guys have bad self-talk? I do sometimes. I'm freaking human. I have moments of impact, and I appreciate the people who love me enough to gently help me raise my awareness about something, how I said things, how I may say it differently, how I have maybe impacted someone knowingly or unknowingly, right? With my crazy energy or my actions and different things, because I understand that my energy is like my cologne, and sometimes my cologne is overwhelming and overpowering people who did not ask to be submerged in my cologne. Some people didn't ask to experience my high vibration because they are in such a low vibration, and it's like, oh, it's like a smack in the face. And I remember being that person who was so unhappy. I was so unhappy. I didn't like my life. I wasn't happy with my husband. My kids were just, it was just not right. And any happy people around me, oh my gosh, I would be like, they're so annoying. Oh, look at her. She's too much. She's extra. And I'm like, girl, I'd be watching this stuff now. There's this one show, and it has like this shadow person, or the critic. That's what they call it. And, we all have it, our shadow person, our inner voice, whatever, right? In this show, it called the critic, right? And the critic is telling you all this. Don't say that. That's dumb. Why would you do it? Right? Okay, we all have one. So, again, that's your little ego helping you design what you want. So what if every time you hear something that doesn't feel good, you immediately go, oh, this doesn't feel good. This is just helping me to create what I want. What do I want? And then in that moment, depending on the circumstances and the situation, what do you want? Do you want to be treated fairly? Do you want to be included? Do you want to be accepted? Do you want for your voice to matter? Do you want to be heard? What do you want? So then you can start saying, I'm so grateful that I always am heard. I am so grateful. Thank you that I am always surrounded by trustworthy people. I am so grateful. And then guess what that does, you guys? It's like the river again, and it starts going over, around, under, smoothly, gently, harmoniously. And then with that clarity, God's like, oh, look, there's Trey down there. And she's like, oh, thank you for opening these doors for me to, oh, okay, she wants to come over here and open this door. Oh, okay. Got you. Because that's what I want. Or I could keep creating more of what it is that I keep receiving. And then on my list, instead of what I want, I'm sending this list. Why did she do that? I don't know why people are always da 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 da. When am I ever going to get a break? When am I ever going to be accepted? When am I, right? It's fun. It's crazy. What can you do? You could keep creating what you want by clarity within yourself. And remembering your emotional body is doing its best to help you, help raise your awareness. And those feelings, they can be healed. Anything can be healed. It's a beautiful thing. Your physical body, I don't care what it is, it can be healed. If you have stuff going on in your head that loops and loops and loops that isn't helping you, it can be healed. It can be transmuted, transformed, evolved, growth, whatever, rerouted, repurposed, illuminated. I promise you guys, all things are possible once you believe it is. Because if you don't believe it, it surely cannot and will not happen for you. This is Trey with some Trey Talk on a Wednesday on this Laugh and Learn lunch. I am so grateful for your time. I'm so grateful for all the people who have hopped on all the different streams. I can't thank you enough for your continued support. I am here every Wednesday, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And I bring so many other people. I usually have a lot of guests. I'm sure something happened with Cedric because you guys, things happen all the time. They come up. I had a family emergency that I had to miss a scheduled live, an IG live with another powerhouse. So I get it. I accept and allow that life is always perfect. We always get to, this is the free will we have, you guys, is how to respond to things. And I choose to trust and believe always that life is always perfect. It is always exactly the way it should be. And that is working for my good. And it's up to me to choose what do I want to do with it. I could have not gone on. My little granddaughter was like, Nana, if he doesn't show up, let's just go swimming. Come on, Nana. Come on, let's go swimming. And then the part of me was like, yeah, forget it. If he don't show up, I don't have to show up. Oh, well, I get to give myself permission to. And I could have done that. But guess what that would have done? It would have slowed down my water. It would have taken my downhill motion. It would have flatlined it a little bit more. And it would have slowed my flow. So I gave myself permission to show up. It's fine. It is so fine. And I can't thank you guys enough for all your continued support. I can't wait to see you here next week. You guys, if you want to hook me up, hit me up. I'm on this Facebook, on the YouTube, Twitter, all of these. You guys, you could get a hold of me. All of these, just back channel me in the messages, read my profile. You will find how to connect with me, because I would love to help you heal. I would love to help you discover the blocks in your path that's stopping you from self-actualizing your best life. I give you so much thanks and gratitude. This is Trey signing off on a Wednesday. Until next week. Sending so much support, so much clarity, love, and light.